The 5th of June, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay, everybody, we're back. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's see. Yes, we were in the middle of this Rashi, Dibur Maschil Olam, on Yud Ches Amid Beis.
Olam,
Yeah,
Olam, Kedikaima, Lon, Kishin, Nimtza, Laalta. And all the time it's established to them when it is found immediately. The imlav, if not found immediately, then it's puzzle. It would be puzzle. Because Shema, perhaps, Einu Shel Zeh, because it's not this one. Aval, in the Brisa, Leica, there isn't to teach there, to cave in, since the Tana, the because it's a single Tana teaching that to Yachzir, that he should return it, Laisha, to the woman who.
having a ton of Behedja, since he learned openly, Behedja, openly and clearly.
Yeah, publicly,
Yachzir,
so
the Isha,
he should
give the get back to the Isha with no mistake, make no mistake about it. That's what the Tana of the Brisa is saying.
Hule, and this is Laploni.
Fluge, he should have made a distinction.
There's a difference. And, Bain, La'alta, there is a difference between La'alta, between whether it's immediately, Bain Lazman Rutuba, or after a long amount of time. The Lo Dumya, because then it's not similar, L'mat Nisan, to our Mishnah. The Chasam there, Lo Yachzir, you don't return it.
And over there, Lo Yachzir, Tana. The Mishnah taught, don't give it back.
Don't give it back there. Medukye, and made a diuk, who he's returned.
How much new?
Here, the Amar Tanu, that you should give it, and Kavan is the low Tana, and it didn't return it. Low Laplugi, that there would not be an argument.
Okay, so Rashi is making an argument for what the Gemora is explaining. What the Gemora's rationale is. The Gemora is saying that the Reb Zera is differing with Rabbah, because the Rabbah said that it says in the Mishnah, Amasa Bezdin, what's it say? Amasa Bezdin, you don't return it. It doesn't say Tanu Nosnin Afilu Lizman Ruba. It doesn't say, yes, give it back, even if it's a long time. It doesn't spell it out. Dilma Hada Amar Tana Nosnin. This that the Tana said Nosnin, to give it, Ula Olam Kedekaim Alan, like we explained in the other Mishnah. La'alter, only if it was found right away after it was lost. So, okay, so Rashi is explaining that that's what our Mishnah says. Don't give it back unless that's what the way Rav Zera is saying the Mishnah says. But the Brisa You can't learn that way. Why can you? In other words, we're explaining why Reb Zera pitted the Brisa against the Mishnah. Why do you not pit one Mishnah against another Mishnah? That's the Iker Halacha, is the Mishnah, not the Brisa. But Reb Zera held that the Mishnah against the other Mishnah didn't contradict each other so much. But the Brisa is a clear contradiction. And Rashi's explaining why, because the Brisa came into Tana Behedya Yachzir Leisha. Since the Brisa openly says that you give it back to the wife, doesn't say if it's dependent on this or dependent upon that. If it's already saying that much that you give the get back, so there's no question that you give the get back. It should have said it should have said, oh, but that's only if you found it right away. But since it didn't say that, we see that the Brisa holds that you give it back without regard to whether it was found right away or not. Even if it was not found right away, it still is to be given back, because that's what it does. That's the clear implication of the Brisa. So like that's a clear contradiction to what our Mishnah is saying. Our Mishnah is saying that no, only if it was found right away. So that's explaining why Reb Zera asked the question the way he did, and he did not ask the question the way Rabbah said. Okay. And now we go to the next part of the Gemora. Lamanda Omar LeRebi Zera. Oh, we did this, if you remember. Because the Rashi that we read it because we forgot to read it in the right time. So we read it after we had finished this section. We're actually up to Rebbe Yirmiyah Omar. Rebbe Yirmiyah Omar. Yeah, this is towards the bottom of the page on Yud Chasamid base. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines from the bottom.
It's 18B3, left-hand column, third paragraph.
And we call upon Roy to start the reading.
Okay. The Gemara presents other interpretations of the Brisa's ruling to permit returning a bill of divorce long after his disappearance. Reb Yeremiah Omar said, Begon Dako Omarei Adim. The Brisa refers to a case where the witnesses who signed the bill of divorce say to us, Me'alom lo chosomanu. We never signed Ola al gam agat echad shel Yosef ben Shimon. We never signed on more than one bill of divorce for a man named Yosef ben Shimon.
So wait a second. That means that the witnesses have to also have the same names?
Yeah, that's what it seems to be saying.
They're really stretching coincidence here.
In other words, it says in the Mishnah and also in the Brisa that if the husband admits that he gave his wife a get, we can give that get to his wife, because he's admitting that he wrote a get to her. That's where Adim come and say we never signed our signature as Adim except on one get of Yosef ben Shimon. And we know that it was right. So and this is the get that has Yosef ben Shimon's name on it. And okay, let's see what Rashi says over here. Rabbi Yirmiyah Omar.
Wait a second.
I'm good. How are you?
Something before the Rabbi Yirmiyah. The Ashkacha.
I can't hear you.
A bright. There was something before that.
Yeah, that was talking about the
that we find in the
Reb Zera said. Reb Zera will tell you.
Right.
It doesn't say we found it in the Bezdin. We found it outside the Bezdin.
Okay, so we found it a brai. Now, what is that's a brai?
Brai means bra, outside.
Outside.
Like a brisa, which is outside the main body of law of the Mishnah.
Okay, so that says basic no. She'ein hashayirot mitzuyin, because here there is no caravans that are found there. That's what the outside means.
Right.
Okay, so and now you're up to the Rabbi Yirmiyah piece. The Rabbi Yirmiyah.
That's the only reason why, according to that, Rabbi Zera says, according to that Mishnah, that we would give it back because there was transportation was not readily available. That's not likely that Yosef ben Shimon from the other side of town got over here. So, but if there would be Sharas Mitzuyos, so then we would not give it back, says Reb Zera.
Right. Okay. Okay, so what did I say here? Now I said something here. Okay, so Rabbi Yirmiyah Omer, trying to catch what here was, the Katani that it's taught, Yagzer, that he should return it, Kagon, that he says the Omre Adim, that the witnesses say, Hachotmim, the witnesses who signed it said, Bo in it, Ma'alam was always Lo Chatamne, that we've never signed on it.
They're saying, right, we got this get, says Yosef ben Shimon and Rachel ben Leah, Bas Leah, and then we got two signatures on the get. And those two gentlemen come into the Bezdin, and they said, yeah, that's our signature. And we could tell you another thing. We could tell you that Me'olam lo hasamnu, that we never signed our name on any other get of Yosef that was made out to Yosef that the name of Yosef ben Shimon appears on that get. This is the only get that we affixed our signatures to that bears the name of Yosef ben Shimon as the husband. So what does that? Think about this for a second. What does that mean? Does that mean? How does that prove that there's not another get out there of Yosef ben Shimon?
It could be another set of witnesses.
Yeah. So I don't even understand how this is a proof of anything. We're supposed to be learning from over here that since the witnesses said this, so therefore we don't have any more concern that a get fell from another man who had the same name and whose wife had the same name. Why not? Exactly like Roy said. Another Yosef ben Shimon. In other words, Um,
But there's also,
we're saying we don't have any more concern. Since these witnesses did not sign on any other get with this name, so what does that prove to us? Maybe we could figure it out the other way. What if they wouldn't have said that? What if they would have said to us, yeah, you know what? It's true, this is our signature, but we remember that there was another Yosef ben Shimon that we also signed a get for him too. Now, can you understand that if they would have said that, then we really got to be choshesh. Which get is this? Is this the get of this Yosef ben Shimon, or is it the get of the other Yosef ben Shimon? Right?
Yeah.
Understand?
is there anything in a get that identifies specifically a person in the get?
It doesn't have his picture. They didn't have cameras.
Right.
So all we have is Yosef ben Shimon and Rachel ben Leah and Ploni and Almoni signing on the bottom. That's it. That's what we got.
And we're also saying that there's not a specific set of witnesses who could only, whose job it is to sign gets. You could have any set of witnesses.
True, but listen, if there was another Yosef ben Shimon and another Rachel ben Leah, right? According to what these guys, according to what Ploni and Almoni are testifying to us, they're saying we only signed one get of Yosef ben Shimon. So that means that the other get belongs to the other Yosef ben Shimon, because they're saying this is our this is the get that we signed.
Maybe there's two other witnesses with the same names.
I mean, and they're saying this is the what?
Maybe there's two other. Maybe we should be choshesh that there's two other witnesses with the same names. Just like we're worried that there's two other couples with the same names, maybe there's two other witnesses with the same names.
Oh, okay. So that's what we would have to be choshesh for. You're right. Absolutely. I think Lou understands it. Right? What concern is there over here? The only concern that there could be is if there's another Ploni and another Almoni, and they signed a get for Yosef ben Shimon. That's the only possibility that there could be that would mean that this is not the correct get. Barring that, there's no way that this is not the right get. So we're saying, Rav Yirmi is saying, Adkan, this is how far we're going to be worried about this issue. We're not going to be worried about what Lou just said.
And what about the order of signing? So the two witnesses sign always in the same order, which means that the other two witnesses, even if it's got the same name, may have signed in a different order.
Right? Okay. Right? That would be another point of distinction. Even if it was two different people, if they remember to know that if Ploni says, "Oh, I was the first signature on this get," and in the other get, it's his maybe, yeah, good, but I think that's the point. I think that's the point now. So that's what Rabbi Yirmiyah says. Oh, interesting. Now that we're on it, let me read you this note. This is actually from this is the bottom Tosus. This is the bottom Tosus. Tosus asks a question like this. L'chora ein muvan, מדוע באופן זה אין חשש שמא הגט נכתב על ידי אדם אחר? Why is it that this edus of these witnesses takes down our chashash that maybe this get that we have here is from a second Yosef ben Shimon? Sharei yesh loymar she'achein ha'edim chasmu al get echad v'hu haget shelefanenu. We could say that even though it's the case that these witnesses that signed on the witnesses that signed on this get, they only signed on one get, and this is in fact the get that we have in front of us. Says Tosas, ach also haget nektav al yedei adam acher v'lo al yedei zeh. Maybe the witnesses don't remember which Ploni ben Shmoni they signed for, and this is the other guy. That's what Tosas says.
That's a good point. I thought about that.
Okay. So they say, yeah, we only signed on one get for Yosef ben Shimon. Yeah, but do you recognize that this was the Yosef ben Shimon that you signed for? Can you testify to that? Says Tosas, unless they can testify to that, we got a problem.
How could they possibly testify to that? They don't know which Yosef ben Shimon it is. They know it's Yosef ben Shimon, right? But how can they distinguish by looking at a document?
Well, they say we know that we only signed on one document which had the name of Yosef ben Shimon on it.
Right.
So now Tosas is asking, that's very nice. That we can now therefore establish that these witnesses actually they signed a get for Yosef ben Shimon. But if there are another Yosef ben Shimon in town, maybe this get that these two witnesses signed over here that we have in front of us does not belong to the Yosef ben Shimon who's standing before us in the Beis Din right now.
Right. And even if there aren't two in the same town, if the other one is in another town, it still could be.
Oh, that's what we were talking about above in the Gemora. Are we going to go so far to be choshesh for a different town? And he came in on the out of town train into town, and he dropped it over here.
Right.
Yeah, this is what the Gemara is dealing with over here. How far are we going to go over here? Because if we don't know that this is the get that this guy used, so we don't have any other proof that he gave his wife a get. This document is the only proof that we got that he gave his wife a get. If it's not his document, so then we don't have any proof that he divorced her.
Don't the witnesses have to state where they are?
Oh, there's another point. It also says in the get the city where it was made. Right. But that's what we're saying. We're saying it was made in Pumbedisa, and so. Oh, so you mean according to that, why should we be concerned that it's a Yosef ben Shimon from Nardo?
No.
Maybe he came to Pumbedisa to have the get written and given over. I don't know. Maybe his wife was living over there.
Didn't we say that we're concerned that there's two Pumbedisas?
I didn't see that yet.
Yeah, it was a different name, but the point was there was two of them. Two
Oh yeah, two towns with the same name.
Serini or something like that.
No, I don't remember. Or maybe it wasn't here.
Maybe that was with Rabbi Globus.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to find where it says it.
Oh yeah, he said he enjoyed learning with you very much.
Yeah, I enjoyed learning with him too. He's very good. The name is Shaviri. It says it was written in Shaviri. And Rav Huna says, we are concerned that there are perhaps two towns named Shviri.
Oh,
This is on Yudchet Amid Base,
towards the top.
near the top, very near the top.
Uh-huh.
Kashinan Lishnei Shviri.
I see it. The very first three words of the page.
Yeah.
Okay. Who said this? Rav Huna. Rav Huna said, we're Choshesh for Shnei Shaviri.
And at some point, they send somebody out to go and investigate to find out if there is another Shviri.
Oh, that's the next thing that Rav Chisda says. The Amalei Rav Chisda l'Rabba. Puk ayin bo. Go out and investigate into this matter. Orso boy minoch Rav Huna. Because Rav Huna is going to ask you about this matter. Rav Huna was the one that said the din that were Choshesh for these two different towns that got the same name. Nofek Dok ve'eshkach. What did he find? He went out and he didn't go on a trip. He went on a trip to the base medrash.
Well, found a Talmud source rather than finding this the Shviri.
Yeah, what did he find? He find kol ma'aseh bezdin harezeh yachzir. If it's a ma'aseh bezdin, you return it. So what did that prove?
It proves that we're not choshesh, that there's two people with the same name.
How does it prove that?
Because it says you should return it. It doesn't say any conditions.
You return it and you don't worry about the fact that maybe this very same document was drawn up in a different town. So they understood that this was not like Rav Huna, this Mishnah.
Yeah, it seems a little weak to me.
Yeah. Okay. So that's part of the discussion. That was what Rav Huna held. Very good.
Here's an interesting comment. Such a possibility seems remote. Nevertheless, Rav Huna holds that since documents are usually guarded carefully, the very fact that this document was lost raises doubts as to its validity. It should therefore not be returned unless its validity is proven beyond the shadow of a doubt. So that explains why we're cautious for something that's such a low probability.
Mm-hmm. But the fact that we found it in the shuk somewhere, I would say that what that means is that it's quite possible that it was never used. And so it doesn't have any usage. So that's why we found it in the shuk.
Because they're not careful about it, because it wasn't used. So it's like not an important thing.
So, right. I would say that's the biggest question mark on a get that we found.
Right.
It doesn't sound like this get was actually used, because a get that was guarded in order to use, and a get that was actually given, those are very, very valuable pieces of evidence that the wife was divorced, and she's going to need that in order to get paid her ksuva, like we learned before.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense at all that the get was given to the wife, and then that she just was careless with it. It's very very remote possibility, but of course, anything is possible. But yeah, I guess you're saying even other concerns that we wouldn't, even other concerns we're going to be concerned about, even more so than simply, well, maybe the get was never really used, and that's why we found it in the shuk.
Right.
Okay. Very good. We got a couple minutes. Where do we go from here? Oh, the Gemora asks Ihochi. Oh, wow. On what Reb Yirmiyah said, the Gemora asks Ihochi. Whose turn is it to read?
I think it's mine. Ihaki, if so, my lememra.
Yeah.
What is there to say?
What's the chiddush?
Mahu de tema. You might have said lechush dilma is rami shema kishema, that we should be concerned that it chanced that the name on one bill of divorce is identical to their name on another bill of divorce, the edim ke'adim, and that the names of the witnesses are identical to the names of the witnesses.
That's what you said, Lou.
Right. Mashmalan. The Brisa therefore informs us that we don't need to be concerned about that.
That far we're not going to go.
Right.
But if the Gemara was asking a question, what is Reb Yirmiyah being machadesh to us? What chiddush is there in what he's saying? This is obvious. This goes without saying. He didn't need to say it. that if the witnesses would testify, we were the ones that signed this, and we didn't sign on any other get of Yosef ben Shimon at all. So the Gemara says, no, there'd still be a possibility that there was two other Plonis and Almonis that signed on a get of Yosef ben Shimon, and maybe this is that get. But don't they recognize their signatures? That's the whole basis of them saying that this is my signature. It's not just because it's his name; it's because the way that he signed it, he can tell that this is his signature.
Yeah, that's right. They should get a handwriting expert in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank
All
you.
the best.
Thank you.
Wonderful
Take care.
Shabbos to Phil.
Shabbat shalom. Be well.
Good
Thanks.
Shabbos.
Good
Shalom.
Shabbos. Good Shabbos.
See you tomorrow, Rabbi.
Bezrat Hashem.
Right.
Bye, Roy. Bye, Lou. Bye, Phil.